Hello and welcome to episode 88 of TLDR Podcast. We have another great episode in store for you once again. These last ones have been pretty fun. This week, we have the semifinals of my fast food section. Trey's going to talk about hockey per usual and his 1+1+1 thing. Very redundant, but it's cool. I don't know what else to name it. So we're going to go 1+1+1 because that's what we're doing. And then Tyler's doing a draft for music because there's no baseball. But before we get into all that, Tyler is still sad. Before we're going to get into that, though, we're going to, check it with the guys as we just watched Tradon stuff his face like a psychopath right before this episode. Tradon, you full yet?
Yeah, I'm full now. Needed to kind of rush. Time caught out to me. It's not endless, unfortunately. But otherwise, I'm good. About to watch the Battle of Alberta while we record this podcast. So there's gonna be a lot of emotions, I'm assuming. So depending on where, especially with the food, like if shit's going downhill, I'm gonna be just as crazy as I was last week. So just buckle up.
Yesterday I learned, because me and Trayden went to a brewery yesterday and watched the Ducks game, which is kind of cool. But yesterday I learned that Trayden mixes all of his food together. So Tyler, are you the kind of guy that like partitions his food and like eats it in a segment, or do you mix it all together and just stuff it in your mouth like a psycho?
I definitely don't mix it all together and stuff it together. It depends on the food, right? If it's a bowl or something like that, obviously it's all mixed together. It's all good. But if it's like Thanksgiving dinner, for example, is a bunch of different foods, I definitely don't just mash it all together and hope for the best. I definitely
missing out.
I just think that's just not how I go. I like appreciating everything individually, and it encompasses as a whole.
So do you ever have a turkey sandwich
unless it's designed
after Thanksgiving?
Like obviously, like that's different, right? That's designed to be like a leftover sandwich that you eat, knowing that's going to be like everything mixed together. But if it's not, unless it's designed specifically to be mixed together, I'm not mixing it together. That being said, if a little bit of something touches something else, I'm not going to freak out about it and not eat it.
No, Tyler's lying. He gets those little plates that have the little like portion.
Oh
and
my
he puts
God.
it all in there to keep like little walls.
Yeah. Those are fun, man.
It makes it easy for him because he just gets like two things.
Actually, you guys remember when we were kids? You guys remember when we were kids? They had the commercials for those plates, but they were like animal faces.
Yeah.
That's Tyler has a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, man.
That's what he eats his HelloFresh off of.
Yeah, I still have them.
No free ads.
No free ads. HelloFresh. We're not sponsored by them yet.
How many times have we brought up HelloFresh on this podcast? Like they need to be.
I've tried.
20.
I've reached out
I've
to
counted.
them before, and they didn't respond. So,
in case y'all have not realized, we still need to sponsor. Feel free to sponsor us. LMU baseball, maybe you could sponsor it because you're taking away Tyler for every single weekend.
That's true.
Tyler probably worked baseball this weekend. How'd it
go? We won a game, which was good.
Oh, is that your first?
We're second win this season, so we're like 2-8 now.
Brutal.
So, well, no, it's been a rough start to the season, but hopefully this win turned it around. We set our season high in runs and hits, which was fairly easy to do, but nonetheless, we did that. So. Hopefully we turned a page, but we'll find out. But nonetheless, it's still fun to actually be able to watch live baseball, which is ultimately not what's going on in the professional side of things. Minor league spring training began today, though, so that's some other baseball news that's going on. So that's kind of fun.
How come minor leagues can happen but not MLB?
It's different. It's Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. They're the same, but they're different. That's a whole nother segment we can get into.
Are
they operate? The minor leagues don't operate under the CBA of Major League Baseball. They're two separate things.
Are there two-way contracts in the MLB?
Are there two-way contracts? Meaning what?
They can go up and down.
So yes, yeah. So it kind of it depends on.
So why don't all the best guys go play in the minor leagues right now? Just make that the new MLB.
I mean, I'm sure if they wanted to, they can train with the minor leaguers if they wanted to. I'm sure that's a thing that would be allowed. They just wouldn't get paid for it.
Yeah, imagine.
But if they wanted a place to work out, I'm sure a lot of them are at the spring training complex. It's just training. Well, actually, I don't know if they can because I guess they're locked out. So I guess technically they can't do that. I don't know. That's a good question.
I know.
Actually, now I'm just thinking out loud. I don't think they are allowed to actually do that. Hence the term lockout.
I want to see the visual of Mike Trout stepping up to the plate with this, like, AAA baseball player is like 18 years old and just be like, okay, kid, pitch against Mike Trout.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love to see that. I mean, David Fletcher, James, was at our one of our practices a couple weeks ago. because he's at LMU. Just the starting shortstop for the Angels. It's not a big deal.
Second baseman, but that's fine.
Shortstop, starting infielder for the Angels.
Gets on base almost every time.
Yeah,
kind of a dude.
He's pretty good at baseball. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Enough baseball.
That was a great intro. I mean,
we just talk about NHL, guys, because baseball season's not a thing. So who cares, right? But you know what is it?
I care.
Is hockey. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, but in Tradon's case, it equals numbers, stats, and a good and a bad thing. Trade, tell you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna add one more. My insane thing for the week is my fucking dog going nuts right now. Dude, calm down.
Chill.
We got one good thing, one bad thing, one number segment for hockey this week. Very similar how we have been, kind of doing it. It's been an interesting week, especially with the Russian sanctions and all that. But we're not going to get into any of that stuff. But it's been an interesting week. We're seeing the Pacific Division continue to get tighter and tighter. As we stand, we have 5 teams from the Central in the playoffs, only 3 in the Pacific, because Edmonton can't figure themselves out. Neither can the Ducks for some reason right now, and the Sharks are sitting in a second spot. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, my one good thing for the week, it has to be the Montreal Canadiens. And it's kind of weird. I mean, if you kind of skipped a few podcasts or whatever, we were just talking about this team having probably the worst season of their entire history. And in the last 11 games since they've got their new coach, Martin St. Louis, this is his first go at it as a head coach, as a coach in general, but beyond amateur Pee Wee hockey. It's been very good, guys. We are seeing Martin St. Louis is 7-4 in his last 11 games, in his first 11 games, as a head coach in the NHL. Dominic Ducharme, for context, went 8-30-7 before he got the boot. So wow, quite a turnaround. And I think, James, the biggest turnaround for this team, obviously they're playing much better, but I look at how, we're not expecting them to make the playoffs. We're not expecting them to, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It's how the team and especially the young players are kind of trending. You can't have those young players learning that losing is okay. And so I look at Cole Caulfield in particular, and I know this is a guy that you've talked about in the past on this podcast. Very, very bad start, but has greatly turned it around since Martin St. Louis was behind the bench. What are your thoughts, about maybe this Cole Caulfield, relationship with Martin St. Louis, and how you think, he's going to fare the rest of the season? And, I guess, what do you think about Cole Caulfield going in the last part of the season here?
I love it, man. I think before, Cole Caulfield was a product of Dominic Ducharme and how the old coaching staff treated him, because Ducharme was part of that coaching staff that didn't pull Caulfield up, right? And he sat Caulfield for the first couple of playoff rounds. And so there was kind of a lot of resentment there, I feel like. But now he's playing under somebody who actually might believe in him a little bit more. And with that trust comes greater responsibility. And this guy's stepping up. Cole Caulfield is a good player. He's shown flashes of it in the past, in the playoffs, on the big stage. You've seen it before. And now it's just somebody believes in him. And that goes a long way. And this guy has a lot of potential, guys. He's so fast. He's probably one of the fastest players in the NHL right now. What it comes down to is he physical enough, or can he sustain an entire season? And the more we see him play in the NHL, the more we say, yeah, he can. Because he hasn't been injured all that often. He's been sent down a couple of times because of Ducharme, but now with this new coaching staff, it's not looking likely. It's now focused on the young guys and focus and see how far they can come. So we see what we have. So now we know what we need for the future.
Yeah. I mean, look, for context, Cole Caulfield is a small guy. And if anybody has been a fan of hockey in the last, 15, 20 years, that Martin St. Louis is a undrafted Hall of Famer. And he was a 5'7", maybe 5'8" hockey player, completely disregarded because of his size. And he's always lived his life with a chip on his shoulder saying, I can I'm going to show you. And he did. I mean, he did in every facet of his career. And now he sits here in the coaching position, and everyone was saying, hey, you're not going to be able to do this. You can't do this. And clearly he's doing something. And it's not like they changed the team. Like that's the only change. So, and Cole Caulfield, again, for context, his biggest idol was Martin St. Louis. So imagine, James, just imagine you play hockey, you're idolizing this one player, and all of a sudden he's your coach, one morning. I mean, it's just that alone is enough for you to get up for games. Let alone the issues that he had with the other coach, if he had any. But he's had multiple multi-point games in the last 11 games. He's almost hitting a point per game. Well, he's definitely a point per game, but he's only missed 2 games where he hasn't had a point. I mean, he's been just lighting the lamp these days. And so I guess, Tyler, I want to ask you how, I know this is not going to be a successful year for the Montreal Canadiens, but I mean, how do you like their trend, and what would you consider a, I guess, successful end of the year from this point on?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed kind of one of the reasons why I think Caulfield has been done so well under St. Louis, because he's the exact same kind of guy. Those are kind of coaches. When you have a coach that was that player that was an undrafted player, or a guy that really had to grind, and really, he wasn't like a Wayne Gretzky, and it's not a knock on Wayne Gretzky, but I'm sure Wayne Gretzky, probably not the greatest coach in the world, because he just had this unnatural talent that it was just easy for him, right?
Yeah.
He had to work his fucking ass off to be as good as he was. I think that translates so much better to being a great coach. And I think that's why you're seeing the success he has. I think there's also a culture shift in, like, I think St. Louis, he coaches to win, not to avoid losing. I think that it's a small difference when it comes to sports, when you coach, when you play to win, not to avoid losing. That's a huge mental mind shift. I think that's what you're seeing there in Montreal. I think that enough is a reason to celebrate the success for this season. The fact that you've gotten rid of just a bad culture, a bad toxic environment, and hopefully shift over to an environment that wants to win, not just accepts mediocrity. I think that's a win. Hopefully they sign this guy to a long-term contract. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think he's the type of coach that a lot of these, especially young players, can relate to, and he's going to develop these guys into pure winners, because that's what he did. He knows how to do that. He knows how to go from being a guy that's overlooked, that's got a chip on their shoulder, and translate that into success at the biggest stage. So I think this is a great move for them. I think that they've certainly turned a corner there in Montreal. Hopefully that can continue happening. And you just, sometimes you have a season that's just so shitty, you just want to take something out of it. Like, you've had a season, just because you don't make the playoffs, or you don't have a winning record. Like, what's something you can take from this season? For me, it's the culture change in Montreal. That's what you take from this season. I believe that has happened under the new coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right on the money there. I mean, like I said, he's had quite the adversity that he's faced, and he's overcome it in every step of the way. And he's clearly taken on this role. And even if he's there to be, I hate to use the word snitch, but clearly there's some issues within the organization that, bringing in an outsider was part of the process that Jeff Gorton kind of, thought, when he brought in Martin St. Louis. Obviously, front office and now the coaching staff have all been replaced since the beginning of the season. So even if he's not re-signed, at least he's going to be able to give some perspective to Jeff Gorton there, and put him in a direction. Whether or not he's going to be the coach next year, we'll see. But I so far have to tip my hat to him. I have to tip my hat to Jeff Gorton and all those players, because they're, when you're a young player, you can't learn to lose. Right. I mean, regardless. I mean, I'm sure the fans are punching the air because now they're going to lose out on the Shane Wright lottery. But you can't be playing for that, and it just is not good for when you have a Cole Caulfield. I mean, he's going to be an elite player. Jeff Preachy's playing a lot better. Nick Suzuki is your cornerstone. So congrats. James, I'm sure you're kind of smiling a little bit to see Montreal just to see them do well. On the other ledger, My bad thing is the Vegas Golden Knights lately, guys. Vegas Golden Knights are just not. They're just not looking great.
Not golden.
Yeah. Ever since, I mean, here's the thing, and if you read my my power rankings this week, I talk about them, and I forget where I ranked them, but they're 4-5-1 in the last 10. They just put obviously they put Mark Stone on IR at the same time that Jack Eichel came into the fray. I think a lot of people may look at a headline and say that Jack Eichel is not fitting in with the team or yada yada yada, but his points and the fact that he just came off a major surgery would suggest that he's doing fine. In my mind, and I guess I want to ask James. How much do you think this team misses their captain, Mark Stone?
So much. Oh my. Yeah, a lot. A lot of people, because they put Mark Stone on IR and they brought in Jack Eichel, like you said, they were like, oh yeah, we're not going to lose all that much. But they brought in a circle to replace a square. You can't replace Mark Stone. Different players, exactly. Mark Stone is more of a physical guy who doesn't really care if he scores or not, because for a long time he wasn't really on the point sheet. He was kind of just doing his thing. He's all like Philip Deneau is when we talked about Philip Deneau last week. He's the kind of guy that's in the right spot at the right time, makes the right plays. And if his stats show it, great. If they don't, also great, because he's the captain and he knows his worth to this team. Jack Eichel is more of just the scorer. Like, Jack Eichel came from a losing franchise, a franchise that lost so much, and he grew up in this NHL system losing. So now he's put on this team that's a winner, and he only does one thing, and that's score. He can't really do much else because he hasn't really learned to kind of give that grit because you're going to make the playoffs, because it's rough up in Buffalo. And so now he's coming to a place where his scoring isn't necessarily what they need. It's his physicality, or if it's just being at the right spot at the right time. And it's weird for him because for the longest time, he was just a scorer. It's trying to find a new spot in the system for him and trying to replace Mark Stone. It's tough to do. And Jack Eichel won't be that player.
No,
they're very different players. He'll never be the kind of guy that Mark Stone is. And it's up to Vegas to kind of look within and see who else can step up, because it's not going to be Jack Eichel.
No, it's not going to be Jack Eichel to step up in that direction. I think to your point, he did get brought on to score, and they can't expect him to change that, because everybody knows on this podcast that Vegas has had an issue with scoring for the longest time. I do find it interesting. I mean, I would expect Mark Stone to be back and I could be wrong, so don't quote me. I expect him to be back at least by playoffs. I would not be. I mean, at the very least, they might pull a Tampa Bay and bring him in at right there. The problem is, I don't know if they're going to make it. They have the same. They're looking like the Oilers right now, where they're just like. I think if we win, we could trade their spot. We move in there. I could be wrong, or it might be like 1 or 2 points. I could check right here. No, we're 4 points behind, but we also have a game in hand, so it's pretty tight.
That's close.
It's pretty tight, and just the way they're training is not looking good. But Jack Eichel's looking fine. I mean, I can't dog on him. It's actually to me, it's pretty surprising that he's come back and he's playing 18 to 20 minutes a game. I mean, after just major surgery, that's quite impressive. And he's almost at point per game status right from there, which is good to see. But I guess I want to ask Tyler, I mean, you have not been the two guys on this, formerly on this podcast that were Kings haters. I'm sorry, Knights haters. They absolutely hated the Knights. You and I are just a little bit more neutral. Like we appreciate them. So I want to ask you, given the trend, I mean, are you worried for the Vegas Golden Knights?
I'm worried. This could potentially be a really disastrous season, and then could leak not only to this season, but for, I think, a long period of time. Because you look at how this team is structured, they got a lot of money going into guys that just are injured a lot or are going to be free agents soon. And there's not a lot. They don't have a lot of cap space. They pretty much filled it up. So this is the team you're working with at the moment. And if it's not going to succeed, that's going to be a major rebuild. And I think you'll see a very different Golden Knights team starting next season than you do right now, especially if they don't make the playoffs. So yeah, I'm pretty worried. I mean, I saw a stat online that said the forwards of the Golden Knights have scored just 36 goals in the last 22 games. And that's about averaging just over a goal and a half from their forwards to get the position that you're supposed to be scoring, right? That's a pretty shitty average. For those that don't know. You want to probably see that number probably closer to 3, right? So it's a problem. Leonard, I think, is a big question mark how he's going to perform if he can stay healthy too. There's just so much health problems as you mentioned with Stone. A lot of guys that just, I mean, Carlson, where's he been at, man? Like, right. He just had just a shitty season. A lot of these guys that are supposed to be their dogs just are not performing very well at the moment. And then, like I said, there's still a good chunk of the season. Maybe it's just a lull right now. But as you also mentioned, they've had a pattern of not being able to score. And it's kind of the same group of guys. So I don't really know. I don't really have faith that that's going to change a whole lot. They just have the faith that they can, shore up some things on the defensive side. They have to play elite defense to make this run. And that's a lot of pressure putting on one side of the puck. Like, I don't think they can do much at the trade deadline. Like, what are they going to really do? You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of stuck with the team they got. So I'm pretty worried for the Golden Knights right now.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say to that is the Golden Knights have never not been in some person, like some player. Like they always find a way to fucking add a guy. Always. Like, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. I know true. Whether that means they're sending away one of the OG Golden Knights for the year. I mean, for this year, it could be William Karlsson. He might go back. He might leave. I mean, we don't know. I mean, those guys that were drafted there in the expansion draft aren't safe, and so we'll see. I think that their main focus is look. They can't miss the playoffs. They can't. I mean, they just can't afford that. I think that they're going to find any way they can to get into the playoffs, and their main focus is to fit Mark Stone into the fray. Whether that's before or after the playoffs. And I think that depending on what his injury is, clearly it's something, whatever that injury is, if they are in need of him to make it, that's their deadline move. You're moving a guy out for nothing so that they can just fit him in, because they can't right now. They can't fit him in. So it's either they're crossing their fingers that they can make it to the playoffs, or they're going to have to bring him in earlier and we're going to see someone leave. So we'll see how the next couple of weeks goes. I think that there's a lot of thought, there's a little bit of worry, but all these good teams go through these lulls. And I am worried. We'll see how everything pans out at the end. My number is 2. And that is the number of hat tricks that this player scored. And in 1 week, and better yet, it was in back-to-back games. That is Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars. This kid put in back-to-back hat tricks. I mean, I haven't heard of. I don't know the last time that even happened. And I'm going to look it up while I ask a question, but because I'm going to have to. Not me. Look, this is a guy that, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw if you guys look on YouTube, his first hat trick against the Winnipeg Jets, just an amazing hat trick. I mean, he was in the right spot at the right time in every single one of those plays. His first goal was absolutely stunning, just absolutely robbed, made Hellebuck look like a fucking idiot in that moment. And then his final goal, where he hustled on his last, bit of fuel that he had, gets tripped up, scores, and then he slides into the boards and just lays on the ice because he's so damn tired, but he scored. Like, he's, every goal was he wasn't flashy about it. He was, he just celebrated with his friends or with his teammates. And he's just, I think he's underrated. And I guess Tyler, I want to ask you, I mean, have you even heard about this guy before?
Honestly, no, but I mean, I think that's what's great. You love to hear these guys that just, pop out of nowhere and light the league on fire. I love this shit. I love it in any sport where you got this no name nobody who really doesn't have expectations, and it just comes out and just does amazing things. I mean, back-to-back hat tricks. Like I said, I've never heard of that either. I don't know if it's ever happened. Maybe a long ass time ago when they didn't really play defense in the NHL. I don't know, but It's awesome. I love it. And I mean, not only is he on fire, the Dallas Stars also too. They're starting to make a little bit of a run here.
Yes,
and they're currently in a playoff spot. So they're making that Western Conference that's already pretty much of a logjam, even more so of one. So yeah, he's definitely, I think, lighting that city up, lighting that team up. Love to see it. I love it when guys just come out of nowhere and just, you're like, who the hell is this kid? I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Ovechkin was the last one to do it back in 2017.
Of course, it was Ovechkin. That makes sense.
Of course, it was Ovechkin. Yeah. James, I want to ask you. My question is: have you heard about this guy? And should we have heard about this guy, considering he has 101 games played in the NHL and he has 100 points? This guy, and this season he has 47 games and has 54 points, a 20 plus minus, is clearly underappreciated in some respects. And do you think that, I mean, are you feeling good about the Dallas Stars right now?
Clearly you guys don't listen to me when I talk, because when we did this the Dallas Stars preview for the NHL previews a while ago, I definitely mentioned this guy because I do like the Dallas Stars quite a bit. I followed them when they were in the bubble, and Jason Robertson was one of my points of interest because he's young and he was up and coming. Like, he's been getting better and better each and every year. And last year he had missed a couple games, and that kind of caused a little bit of their downfall. He's a key cog in this system because of his ability to pass. He's not necessarily a scorer, but he is a passer. And right now he's kind of getting rewarded for all of his hard work. 7 goals in this month, which is in 3 games. So in 3 games, he has 7 goals. He's never eclipsed more than 6 this season. He's already outscored last month's pace, which was 6. And the month before that was also 6. And in January, it was 5. Like, this dude is finally getting rewarded for his hard work. And maybe it's because other teams are watching film and realize that, hey, he's just a passer. We can sag off of him in shooting situations. And now he's taking advantage of it because now he's in the right spot at the right time that he's always been at, but has always passed out of it. But now he gets to take the shot. And it's cool to see somebody like this, who's young, who's hardworking, who's part of a good system, finally get rewarded for his hard work. It's good to see.
Yeah, you say that he's known for his passing, and he has more goals and assists this year. And that helps when you score 7 in 3 games. And James, I think you get a good point that he missed a couple games last season, and he's already eclipsed points there in less games, as you mentioned. But he was second in the Calder vote, which means you'd have to think that if he doesn't miss any games, he's probably not missing out on the Calder Trophy.
Who won it last year? Was it Kirill Kaprizov? Because I mean, that's hard to beat.
It was Kaprizov.
It's hard to beat that.
It is hard to beat that. The problem that I had is that Kaprizov was like 24 years old, and I know that he's technically a rookie, and that's also the question about. I'm drawing a blank on the kid who's currently, Bunting over in Toronto. Kid's like 26 years old. You can't, like, I know that's a rookie, but it's like the kid is just already just bigger and to me, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Obviously, a 21-year-old winning a rookie of the year would just seems right. But I guess you can't beat Kaprizov, to your point. You just look too good. But James, do you think this team's going to make the playoffs?
It's always a possibility. I mean, they're close as it is. And unless you're like the top in the Western Conference, everybody's spread out by like 2 or 3 points. Trade deadline hasn't happened yet. Once the trade deadline hits, I think you get a really good point. You get to see who's going for it and who's not. So I think this is a question we answer when the trade deadline happens. But until then, there's always a chance, unless you're Vancouver, in which case you have a 9%.
The Vancouver Ducks have a better chance than the Ducks right now.
Yeah, I understand that. That's not going to make it, bro.
And they're at 21%. I'm how badly I'm hoping. And here's the thing, you guys don't know what's
I'm just sticking to my guns.
You don't know. I know you are. And that's awesome. I need more and more clips, because there is something big that's going to happen if they make it on this podcast. And I'm going to shove it in your face so fucking hard. And I'm going to gloat about it for 15 minutes. And that's all we're going to talk about.
That's super exciting. I'm glad they're not making it. That's fine.
Look, Dallas is looking good. 7-2-1 the last 10, won the last 4. Minnesota's not looking too hot. They're 2-8 in the last 10. I mean, I could see Dallas taking that spot. Nashville is right on their heels too. So, it's good to see Dallas kind of figure it out. They're always it's such an enigma for me. I don't know what they are, and it looks like they're finally starting to figure it out. But they have a lot of talent, and they just don't seem to really figure it out. But at the end, it looks like they're trending in the right direction. But Jason Robertson, congratulations on what a great week. I think we already can give him player of the month, and it's 7 days in.
3 games later.
3 games in. I mean, it's pretty safe to say that he's already on the right pace, and we'll see if he just continues to light the lamp. But that's all I got. That's all I got to this week.
1 + 1 + 1 equals great segment. Good job, Tradon. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, Tyler's going to talk music and drafts. A music draft. I have no idea that's going to work, but here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Tradon is turned around as being weird. I don't know what that is. But fact of the matter is, we're having a music draft. And I got the rules explained to me probably 2 minutes ago. I already forgot them, so I think Tyler's going to explain it again, hopefully. Otherwise, I might lose. But I never lose. But it's okay. Tyler, you're up.
Great. All right. So this is the first time that we've done this on TLDR, and I'm excited to try it out. We're going to basically it's a music festival draft. So we're going to go like a normal fantasy football draft or how you'd have. We're going to go in order, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go by genre. So we're all each going to select the country artist, rock, hip hop. We're going to go down the list. We're going to do 5 artists each. And obviously we can't pick the same one. So if someone selects an artist, you can't pick the same guy. It's just exactly like fantasy, right? If Tradon picks Connor McDavid for fantasy hockey, James, you can't get Connor McDavid. That's not how that works. So once
Draisaitl was better.
Yeah. So once the band or artist is off the board, they're off the board. So we have to have completely different lineups here. And at the end, we're going to post this on our social media. We're going to let you guys decide, which one wins. So like basically, we're creating a music festival lineup. Which one do you most want to attend? Which one is the best one that you'd pay your best money for to go see? So we're going to test our music taste knowledge and see what the public thinks. So I'm really excited to do this. I'm going to do the draft order based on how we finished in our fantasy football league this season. So Tradon, that means you get to go first because you finished second in our league. James, you get to go second because you finished third, and I get to go last because I finished 5th. So that's how that's
James, you're actually in a solid spot. I mean, you get the middle pick every freaking time.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought I finished last this year. I didn't.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
So that's how we're going to do it. So Tradon is going to lead us off. He is the number 1 picked for the genre country, or the country genre. Fucking words are hard. So Tradon, in the first round of the 2022 TLDR Music Festival draft pick, Tradon Reed selects
Luke Combs.
Fuck you.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, everybody knew that.
Why are you picking Luke Combs? Like, why? What makes him superior to everybody else?
True. That's number 1
doesn't
overall
really
pick.
Matter. Why does anybody get picked first? It's just you think that he's the best. So
why do you think he's the best?
If we answer that question, we'll never get done with the segment.
It's really not going to take that long, man. It's like 12 picks.
No, it's not. It's 50. It's 20.
How's it 20?
5 times.
You're right. All right.
Yeah,
next,
we gotta go.
My pick is next.
Oh shit. Okay, Luke Combs, number 1 overall pick. Great choice, Tradon. Obviously, that was my number 1, but he's off the board for me. So, but the good thing is I got backups because I prepared. James, who is your country artist that you're gonna set as your lineup?
Chris Young, because he's my favorite artist of all time. So I'm gonna go with that one.
That's
all right,
great pick.
Chris Young for Mr.
Tyler has no idea who that is.
No, I do. I know he's your favorite. I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Young. I'm sure he's great. We'll see what the public thinks.
Wait, Tyler. I guess my question is: Are we each getting 5 country singers?
No.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, Luke Combs, obviously, because he just is kind of killing it right now. He's It's
a great choice. He's one of the hottest country artists.
One of the hottest country singers right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, dude.
Like I said, that was my number 1 pick. So I have to go with my second option here, but I'm going to go with Zach Brown Band as my country band. They're one of the best of all time. I've seen them live before. They're fantastic. They put on a great show. They've got, I don't even know, probably 5 or 6 albums at this point. So they got a lot of songs to choose from, a lot of good hits. So I'm gonna go Zach Brown Band as my country artist.
There's so many on the board still. Like obviously,
I mean,
like I mean, I know it's just like crazy.
No matter, it's gonna be hard for the public to choose because it's like we've only got 3 of us, so it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty good. All right, so shifting over to round 2, to round 2, we're gonna go with the rock genre. So I guess I get to go first since we're doing stage.
You did that on purpose because you knew you were gonna be last, so you for sure get Imagine Dragons. You are a cheater.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Cheater.
Anyway,
What if we do hip hop next?
We are doing hip hop next.
You said no hip hop now.
Well, you want to hear
instead
hip-hop
of
now?
Yeah, let's do hip hop now. Now
Imagine Dragons more pop than rock.
I've got tons of rock guys, so fuck it. Well, let's do hip hop now. Challenge accepted, James. All right, let's do hip hop instead. I'll go first.
This is where I fail.
Again, yeah, I'm not the biggest hip hop fan as you probably.
I got you. I'm gonna destroy you.
But actually, I have seen a couple of live hip hop artists, and I actually do enjoy it as a live art. But I'm gonna go with my pick. I'm gonna go with Eminem. Probably the obvious choice.
That's what I would have picked.
So I'm gonna make.
First of all, it's because you saw him at the Super Bowl, so you're like, oh yeah, I remember him.
No.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude,
that argument makes zero sense.
Yeah,
y'all don't know. Yeah, no.
Eminem is like
he's one of the greatest of all time. Let's just put it that way. You know, he's great. I'll if you guys want to know my other 2 later, we'll figure that out later. But James, you've got the second pick for hip hop. Who do you got?
J. Cole, hands down. This dude is a lyrical genius. Tradon has no idea. He's never heard his voice before. But J. Cole is so good. He speaks about relatable stuff. And it's stuff that helps people live life. It's not just dumb rap talking about getting girls and doing drugs. He knows his stuff. He graduated summa cum laude. Like, he is a smart dude.
I love it. Tradon, I'm very interested to see who your hip hop pick is here.
I mean, it's got, I guess, Snoop Dogg. What I know.
Because he was in the halftime show.
No, but dude, you have to know that when you don't listen to I didn't grow up listening to hip hop. I didn't listen to any. And especially where I came from, there wasn't much hip hop to listen to. That was it. So you just go with what you know. I mean, I could have threw in Drake, but I'm not a huge Drake fan. So
yeah, I don't like Drake.
Why is R&B not a option for us right here? Why is that not a genre?
It is a genre. I just didn't think it was a big.
That could be your wild
genre.
card.
It could be your wild card. That's why I put the wild card in there for that exact reason. Because there's like freaking 20 plus genres of music, so you can put if you want to put your R&B guy in your wild card, feel free. So there you go. So we got J. Cole, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem for the hip hop artists. We're moving on to rock now because James so adamantly wanted it to be this way.
Even though it's actually a pop artist, but whatever, that's fine.
I'm not gonna pick him just to put Tyler, just make him feel nervous.
All right, whatever. Anyway, Tradon, you have the first pick for the rock genre. Who do you got?
It's got to be AC/DC.
Oh, nice.
AC/DC is just classic rock. I mean, everybody knows at least one of their songs, if not, well, almost an entire album worth of songs. I mean, they're iconic. Yeah. There's not much more to say.
Thunderstruck, baby. I love it.
I drank to that a lot.
That's a great one. James,
drinking.
You could early in our group chat, you said you only knew of one rock band, which is crazy because there's like a bajillion of them.
There's also a bajillion rappers.
There is. I mean, there's a bajillion of everything. But
very similar, James. You probably didn't grow up much with rock, so you can appreciate why we go.
I grew up with a lot of R&B, so I'm gonna pick Linkin Park. Okay, I think that's a solid choice.
It is a solid choice. The lead singer is not with us anymore, though. So how are you gonna have Linkin Park there,
dude? Okay. Whoa! I was gonna throw AC/DC. Like you can't say that. It's got to be true. Historic, right?
Bro, AC/DC can't even sing no more. What you mean?
Actually, I think they're still touring, but I could be wrong.
They are. They're still around. They're still doing shit.
Okay, fine.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Let's throw away.
Oh, I hope so because my next pick is definitely dead.
We definitely didn't set the rules that we could say alive or dead artists. I was assuming it would be like guys. I don't think Linkin Park's toured since the passing of Chad Bennington.
No,
I don't know.
You can't. How would you do that? That'd be tough.
People do it all the time. Like, Journey does it. Queen does it. Just saying.
I guess. Oh yeah, you can. They. I don't know who it was.
Someone guy, but I mean, Chad Bennington's hard to replace. But they said that about Eddie or Freddie Mercury and all those other guys. So I almost said Eddie Mercury.
I forget which. As an anecdote for other people who give a shit, I forget which band it was, but apparently their lead singer had passed, and they found a cover band singer that was like so good that they hired him to be the.
I mean, you can do it, man.
And he was probably better than the original singer.
Ooh, that's just brutal.
There's a lot of talent out there, guys that sound a lot like certain singers, So I'm sure you can find a Chad Bennington-esque guy, and I'm sure at some point Linkin Park will probably go back out. Obviously, it's still fairly fresh. I think what happened probably 4 or 5 years ago or something around that time. So, but I mean, I love Linkin Park. That was one of my favorite bands of all time. So that was a super sad day when Chad Bennington passed away. But yeah, I like that pick, James. Great pick. We'll let it count because I didn't specify.
That was my bad.
All that stuff, but it's all good. So my pick is going to go with my favorite rock band. I mean, Imagine Dragons. You can argue whether or not if they're rock or not. Obviously, they definitely have pop influence to it. Whatever. They also have some hip hop influence in there as well. They got a lot of shit going on. But to me, at the end of the day, it's a guy playing drums, a guy playing bass, a guy playing guitar, and you got a guy singing. That's rock music to me. So that's what Imagine Dragons is. That's what they are. I've seen them live 4 times. I would love to see them again. They put on an amazing live show if you guys have not seen them. And like I said, they're at this stage right now where they just keep putting out hits. They came out with a new album recently. They still got a couple more songs on the radio right now. They're absolutely killing the game. So I'm going to go Imagine Dragons as my rock band. So moving on to the pop genre. I got the first pick here. I'm going to go with my girl Halsey. Okay. As my pop pick. I've been a fan of Halsey for a very, very long time, even before she really became really big. I think this girl is amazing. She puts on a lot of good music, really artistic, really unique. She's got her own flavor. She's got a lot of big hits. And she puts on a great show. I've also seen her live as well. So I'm going to go with Halsey as my pop hit. James, who do you got for your pop artist?
I'm going to go with Justin Bieber. Dead serious.
The Biebs.
Honestly, his stuff is catchy and it's fun to listen to.
Recent stuff is, yes.
His recent stuff, yeah. But I mean, at the time, we kind of grew up with him. He's like our age, right? So at the time, he was like the stuff he was talking about, we were kind of going through. But we were going through this like toxic masculinity stage. You're like, oh, I don't want to listen to him because he talked like it's weird. But if you put that all away and listen to his music as we grew up with it, it's like, wow, like we're going through the same stuff at the same time. And one of his best songs right now, Ghost, dude, that is lyrical genius right there. Great song, super catchy. It's in my head all the time now, mainly because I hear it everywhere I go. But it is what it is. Justin Bieber, he's on it right now.
He is. I used to not be the biggest fan of his, but I think his last like 2 or 3 albums, I've actually genuinely enjoyed his music. I think he's come a long way, that little Canadian guy. So, Tradon, who's your pop guy or girl?
Okay. I'm gonna say I have a first one, and if you don't want to count him, that's fair. And I have a backup. Okay,
is it Michael Jackson?
Yes, it's the king of pop. I thought this was a thing from the history.
At least mine can still play without my lead singer right now.
Yeah,
but that Michael Jackson's a 0.
But that's like,
who's your second?
Really special. It's like I thought this was a best of the best. This
was like if you're making a music festival right now, like who are you choosing?
Okay,
Linkin Park with a cover artist.
It's Sir Elton John.
Elton John. Okay, I'm gonna put that one. I like that. That's a good pick. Elton John's awesome. Is that it? That's just Elton John. You're not gonna.
I mean,
no reason.
I was gonna come on this podcast and talk up Michael Jackson because he is the king. Like he was the greatest to ever do it, and that kind of got shot in the dark. Yeah. So Sir Elton John, it is,
the
and he's actually on commercials now, so he's still kicking and he's still killing it. So
all right, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna axe the Michael Jackson. I'm gonna give you Linkin Park, James, just because, as you said, it's just one member of the band that is no longer with us. But you probably could find some other people to replace that, and you could still have the main band still be intact. Same with
You can't replace Michael Jackson because he's
can't
only
replace Michael Jackson.
That means I have to really think about the next one. Shit.
Yeah. Okay. This is going so well right now.
Oh,
So finally, we have our wild card. So this is basically, it's a wild card. So it can be any genre of music. It can be some random crazy one. So I'm really interested to see what we got here. So Tradon.
oh my god,
Wild
dude! I
card
have
pick.
no idea. You know what? I was gonna come on here and say Coltrane. Coltrane, like jazz, the greatest jazz musician to ever live. You can't because I don't think he's with us anymore. Like, what the hell, guys?
Okay. How about this? How about, because it's 2022 and we have this technology, we'll do the
Holograms.
hologram Coltrane. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can't have your entire lineup be dead people. That's right. So
Put on the
I'll give you
YouTube
one.
channel.
I really missed the assignment on this one.
Okay, I'm giving you
Your
one.
entire lineup can't be dead.
Hologram Coltrane. Okay.
Listen to it, but seriously, guys, listen to the Coltrane.
All right, I'll listen to Coltrane after this. James, who's your wild card?
I'll give you $5 if you guys know who this is, but it's Russ.
Russell
Anybody?
Wilson.
Russell Westbrook.
Not just Russ. He has a song right now. It's
RUSS?
called RUSS. He has a song right now called Handsomer, and it's super catchy. It's like, I know I'm fine, but the money makes me handsomer. Love it. That thing, every single morning, that's what I wake up to, man. That's my motivation. Try to get some money so I can be handsomer because my face ain't doing it. But the fact of the matter is, he's really cool because he does a lot of hip hop and he also does a lot of R&B. So he kind of mixes the two together. And some of the songs, you get into your feels and whatnot, but sometimes it's a good thing. So Russ it is. That's my wild card pick.
Okay. Russ.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I have not heard of that guy before. All right, to round out the draft here, people, I'm gonna go my wild card, Tenacious D. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
nice.
a little just kind of random comedy rock band, little Jack Black out there, just singing his songs. If you guys don't know Tenacious D, look it up. It's just kind of ridiculous, over the top rock music. They talk about just funny, random, raunchy shit, and it's really funny. So just a little bit of a different vibe going on out there, and actually like genuinely really good music. Like
it is good.
They're great musicians. They do a great live show. I've never seen them live, but I've seen videos of them play live, and they can put on a fucking show. So
Tyler, have you seen on TikTok that there's a band, like this one guy that sings just like him?
Oh, really?
And they were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they were
the
like
fat guy with the curly hair.
And the best, yeah. And the best is Jack Black is obviously on TikTok, and he did a duet with him, and he's just like, what the fuck?
That's awesome. I love that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, everyone likes Jack Black, right? I mean, that dude's just funny. He's a great entertainer. So I'm gonna go Tenacious D as my wild card. So that rounds out the draft. Just to go through our final standings real quick, and again, we'll kind of post this on our social media, and everyone can vote on what is the best music festival. So the James Music Festival features Chris Young, J. Cole, Linkin Park, Justin Bieber, and Russ. All right. The Tradon Music Festival is going to feature Luke Combs, Snoop Dogg, AC/DC, Elton John, and holographic Coltrane. All right. And then the Tyler Music Festival, we got Zach Brown Band, Eminem, Imagine Dragons, Halsey, and Tenacious D. All right. I like these picks. Honestly, these would be, all three of them will be fantastic to go to. So I'm excited to see what the general public thinks of our lineup, and we'll crown a winner next week. I guess we'll kind of figure out where the votes lie. So hopefully you guys vote for me because I think mine's the best. But great job, guys. Let's look forward to see what the public thinks.
I think we learned that Tradon doesn't listen to music of this century. He just likes dead people.
Cool.
Taking a quick break, but when we return, we're going to talk fast food semifinals.
You want to re-say what you just said?
Nope. Cut. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing fast food playoffs semifinals right now. We have one little tiny change here. We're switching out one girlfriend for one fiance. Jess is not on the podcast today, but our tiebreaker today is Kylie Sakino, who will be marrying Tradon on May 27th in Menifee, which we talked about multiple times. I have it right on my board right here. That's how I know. I looked up and saw it. Also, fun fact, I just got hand-delivered my invitation to that wedding yesterday. That was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, but you RSVP'd before you got it, so.
I definitely did. I RSVP'd about 3 weeks ago. So, kind of important. Anyway, we're talking fast food. We're talking playoffs. We're talking the last 2 rounds before the finals. First matchup, big matchup. We've had this discussion time and time again. Crazy amounts of times. In-N-Out versus Chick-fil-A. It's a big one. Who wins and why?
This is
Tyler.
This might be the championship here.
Yeah, this could be.
It's not, because Jack in the Box messed that all up.
I'm actually this may surprise people, but I'm gonna go with Chick-fil-A on this one. As I said, I love In-N-Out. Nothing against In-N-Out. Like I said, I think best fast food burger out there. But I mean, Chick-fil-A just offers so much more. You get so much more variety, and easily hand down the tiebreaker between these two are the milkshakes. I mean, Chick-fil-A blows the milkshake game out of the water. So if you want a good milkshake, you got to go to Chick-fil-A. And they said better fries. They said you don't get hamburgers, so obviously don't go to Chick-fil-A if you want a hamburger. So that's kind of where it's kind of apples to oranges here. But I mean, if you're looking for a quick bite to eat, I mean, I just think Chick-fil-A is probably is going to give you more. So I'm going to go Chick-fil-A.
It's really par for the course that Tyler said that, because, Tyler's been talking about chicken, hence why 2 podcasts ago it's called Nervous Chicken. And his country band is Zach Brown Band, who sings Chicken Fried. It's written all over.
He also said last week that he loves chicken. So.
Yeah.
We're seeing
and so if you didn't listen to that, it's just Tyler is a chicken. He is a nervous bird, nervous human.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh, God.
Tradon, Kylie, In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A.
You go.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, my God.
That's what Tradon does every time we want to go there. But I say Chick-fil-A.
Why do you pick Chick-fil-A over In-N-Out?
I just feel like there's more variety.
Oh, shit. There goes the chair.
Like, there's more than just a burger and fries and shakes. So you can, kind of get what you want there.
They don't have burgers, though.
As long as it's chicken, to be fair.
But they have
They do have mac and cheese.
Oh, mac and cheese is that game changer.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
And they do have breakfast. Yeah.
And breakfast.
You can also have
never had
breakfast, guys.
Breakfast.
Oh, bro, you missing out.
Is it good?
Well, not for you, because you're no, you don't like it.
What do you mean?
So for me, I mean, obviously it's already a done deal, but it's actually funny because in the same parking lot, we have both of these where we live. And if you look at the lines, they're the exact same. So what do you want to wait for? And 9 times out of 10, I'm picking, actually, I should say 10 times out of 10, I'm picking Chick-fil-A, except on Sunday. I say that every time. I'll get salty every Sunday because that's when I want Chick-fil-A the most. But
their
chicken is.
Also, I've seen so many parking lots where there's a Chick-fil-A and an In-N-Out in the same parking lot.
That's why you go to both and put them together.
Yeah,
that's like
there's something
common
going
sense
on there.
I would never. That's a
scary.
Actually, that's a good idea. Anyway, I Chick-fil-A. I mean, I've been barking up that tree since this whole thing started. So, I mean,
you did pick In-N-Out last week. That's just so you know.
But it's not going against the. It's like you're going against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You don't bet against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wow.
Clean sweep. Chick-fil-A moves on to the finals. And by the way, next week we will be eating these foods on the podcast. The next one.
Dude,
the next one is
dinner.
It's going to be great. Provided by the podcast. Yeah, not me. Next, the next matchup. It's going to be weird. 2 different types. Once again, Jack in the Box versus Chipotle.
Hold on, technical difficulties here.
Guys,
he's doing some shit over there.
Look, I said this before. This is the Montreal Canadiens of last year's playoffs, guys. Like, they should not be here. Jack in the Box is dead. It's done. There's no way that anybody can say, unless you don't have a Chipotle near you, and you have to go to Jack in the Box, that okay, I get it. But Chipotle is just is fresher. You get it's healthier. It tastes better. It's higher quality food. It's just come on. Come on.
So he picked Jack in the Box, everybody, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah, with the mini tacos.
Yeah, with American cheese on top of it. Yeah, super healthy. Kylie, please don't pick Chick-fil-A or don't pick Chipotle. Pick Jack in the Box. Come on, change it up.
Jackie.
I want to put Tyler. Yes.
Have it all the time.
Oh my, she's lying. She's lying.
She's never had it once, did she?
No.
They do have good commercials.
They do.
Oh, there we go.
That's
It's the
That's
freaking
a
head.
game changer right there. Much better.
Yeah, Tyler's all about commercials. We learned that in the Super Bowl
Yeah,
episode.
but the difference is they don't need to have Chipotle doesn't need to have the commercials to get people to go in the door.
They literally have the commercials talking about how fresh their food is.
Yeah, but it's not as
It's just
out
cool.
of the box. I for lack of a better term, and no pun intended.
Well done.
Hashtag nailed it.
They have a lot of billboards.
And they will, see, they have a lot of billboards. Their marketing is way higher than Chipotle because it has to be.
There we go. Kylie picked Jack in the Box. So Tyler, you are a huge proponent of Jack in the Box last
Right.
week,
Yeah,
and also was a huge proponent of Chipotle for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win?
You know, I'm really proud of Jack in the Box. I mean, a lot of people don't give them enough credit. I think it's a great fast food restaurant. It does not give enough credit. It deserves to be in this Final Four.
Oh my God, you're insane.
I'm glad it's here because it deserves more recognition. However, the Cinderella story comes to an end here in the semifinal. Chipotle is just better in every way. I've listened to other podcasts. I've talked about how great Chipotle is. They've got great food. It's fairly good for you as far as fast food goes. Great app, great customer service, great everything. Chipotle.
I guess we could say that Jack in the Box is the little engine that could.
It is, and they went very far, and I'm very proud of them.
Kylie, thank you for your help. Chipotle won.
Wait, we should do.
Are you just gonna do a final next week and just?
No, that's next week.
Yeah.
But James, I think we'll do the final, but I think as we should also do the consolation. Like, the final will be the actual food, but you'll do the consolation between to see if we can get the bronze medal to Jack in the Box. It's not going to happen, but In-N-Out and Jack in the Box for.
I don't know. I think In-N-Out Jack in the Box. That's a much tougher matchup than I think you realize, Tradon.
And at least it's burger, so it'll be a good bronze medal matchup.
Yeah.
Hey, so I mean, like, we should have all 4 foods. Yeah, it'll be that day. We're gonna eat a lot of food.
How about we just do 2, like the final?
No.
Oh, we gotta go big.
Gotta go big. I will not eat my second lunch, just so I have enough room for this. We'll be good.
Oh God.
I love it. Let's do it.
Kylie, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kylie.
And you guys just heard Kylie's voice for the first time. Her first ever podcast right here on TLDR.
She'll be back on to talk about Warriors or something.
Yeah,
Warriors.
hopefully. If the Warriors make the playoffs. And they will. Thank you for listening, everybody. That concludes episode 88. It was a different one this time around. We only had one real sports segment because that's what it's going to be like for a while. And Tradon killed that per usual. Because baseball is sad, just like Tyler.
Very sad.
We did talk a lot of music. That was interesting, to say the least. I hope I win. I probably will, because come on, mine are way more popular than
you got Russ, bro.
Hologram.
Yeah, man.
Coltrane.
Game
dude.
changer.
Come on.
Listen to Coltrane.
It's not real Coltrane. You got to find hologram Coltrane. It's a different thing.
Hologram Coltrane. Yep.
And then we talk fast food. And next week we'll get fast food provided by you guys. Thank you very much. Like I said, this wraps up episode 88. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week.